an oversupply of grain in the world. We saw incredible demand over the past decade, and farmers across the world responded. They brought nearly 180 million more acres into production, and US farmers have ever more increasing competition to deal with as a
It is one of the most powerful tools our species has created. And now, we unleash it on your taxes.
Hello, my name is Watson.
Yep, H&R Block and IBM Watson together. Come see us and get your taxes won.
Absolutely right, and that is one of the upsides. We are coming off a period of record profitability as recently as 2013. So when we talk about this 4-year decline in incomes, just to put it in perspective, the USDA is projecting that we'll see about a 50% drop in farm incomes since 2013. So imagine that, your income being slashed in half over the past couple of years. However, because things were so good for farmers for years leading up to that period, we had corn prices above $8 a bushel. Farmers, generated significant savings, and so they have been working through that. It's one of the reasons that farmers haven't taken on as much.
able to go in and have your sacrifice to God. And he went in with a whip and overturned the tables and beat them. You can read the different versions of the gospel. They're all the same. He beat them up. He physically attacked them and kicked a bunch of their butts. Don't you know Christ could fight if he wanted to? He said, this is where I reserve physical attacks, is for people that pull crap like this. You get all the money, nobody else does. You get all the wealth, nobody else does. And then you sit up there and play class envy and go, see that person making $250,000 a year? They're in the 1%. Yeah, if you make $250,000 a year, you're in the 1%. Folks, they say 1% has like 60, 70% of the wealth, depending on how you look at it. Some metrics are 80%. We've done the math. It's 11 zeros. And then what, 4-2? Depending on how you do the equation. Yeah, there's less than 20 people in the world that have more than half the wealth. That's right. But all this 1%, well, those are the people that have a house and a pool, so you've got an entry-level job to come clean the pool, or so you can own a company that does clean pools. Or so you can have a company that cuts the grass, or have a salon, or have a restaurant. That's called an economy. You want a big, rich middle class. But no, we've got to raise taxes on the 1% because the globalists are offshore and tax exempt. They love it. They want to get rid of the middle class. And don't worry, 30+% of the middle class is gone in just the last 40 years, and it's going away even faster. So don't worry. They'll probably have their way and bankrupt everybody except themselves. And I just love the mental midgets out there that go, he's got 3 members of Goldman Sachs in his deal. Absolutely. All of them fought NAFTA and GATT and globalism. All of them have fought against this whole operation. And all of them have pointed out that zero money came from Goldman Sachs to Trump. It all went to Hitler. Because she was the one that was supposed to win. And they did steal 5 states. They tried to steal 6 others. But the landslide was so big that all their fake polls and all their bull couldn't put their fraud back together again. Remember, I said first it'll be, we just want to see if the Russians were involved. And then the Russians were involved. And the American people didn't vote for Trump. It was the Russians. And did you talk to the Russians during the campaign? Did you talk to them during transition, which they admit's all normal. Then they call it espionage and call for everyone's arrest. And suddenly you see all the big neocon and rhino Republicans getting up on Fox News, all sticking their chest out going, Mr. Trump needs to come before us. We're going to find out. Lindsey Graham's going to run the show, and so's John McCain. So we're not going to let Ruskies run America. The very Republicans that helped run the whole Islamic Jihad with Obama the last 6 years, turning North Africa, Eastern Africa, Central Asia, the Middle East over to radical Islam, killing hundreds and hundreds of thousands in Syria alone. Millions total. Islam spreading everywhere. The borders open. Mosque opening in places like Greece that haven't had mosque in hundreds of years because they were under the Ottomans for hundreds of years, conquered by the Muslims. And then America decided to promote the West and not commit suicide. And Europe struggles to not commit suicide. Politically, culturally, spiritually. And the globalists, the Michael Moores, the Nancy Pelosi's, the Maxine Waters of the world, they just sit up there on arrogant power trips because they know the big banks are behind them. They know the big media is behind them. And they're arrogant and they think they're unstoppable. And they are just on a warpath against the middle class and the bitter clingers and gun owners and Christians and veterans and everybody else. And they want to have a big civil war and a destabilization. And then they want to have the military they hate the most march in and have a big shooting war with gun owners. And out of that civil war, they'll sit back and basically, cook hot dogs and s'mores and marshmallows over the fire of our republic. Well, I got news for you. I want to stop that fire from happening. But if it does, it's going to be you going into it. Idiots. You might be able to assassinate Trump or start a civil war, but believe me, you're going to lose real fast, within hours. The patriots in our government have made a list like Santa Claus does of who's naughty and who's nice. And so good luck. But I know, Pelosi's so dumb she thinks Bush is still in office, and Waters thinks that Russia invaded with Trump, with his support, Korea. And they're just so stupid. Just like Zuckerberg thought he could just take hundreds of acres of people's land bordering his in Hawaii, which was ancestral ritual land, and people wouldn't blow up in his face. He's like, I'm a liberal. I fund cop killing organizations like Black Lives Matter. Can't I just have your property? I mean, oh my God, look at me. I'm a little know-it-all, total sociopath, psychopath, control freak. Bow down to me. It didn't work, did it? And must not know much about the Hawaiians at this point if he actually tries to just take their land, how safe he'd be when he was in Kauai. He wants their actual 2,000-year-old ritual grounds. He's like, well, it's a beautiful plateau up here. Yeah, it sure is, bro. It shows the total error, the opposite of what we call liberal. It's like Apple with suicide nets around their factories, forced drugging, all of it. The Chinese selling their political dissidents organs, and the liberals are like, I hope the Chinese communists can help stop Trump. And they're at Davos saying, we will stop Trump. And I'm going to say this to the president, and I'm getting to the other news. Mr. President, and all his constituents get the message to Trump, political dissidents organs, and the liberals are like, and the president, the unelected president, said, we're going to stop Trump and we're going to stop America and the globalists. That's the espionage, and the governmental leaders from the Democrats that were there, you should all start calling for their investigation, and they all did it in public, and it guaranteed it's all recorded. We're going to stop Trump. No, Trump actually knows this, so they're kind of keeping this as a nuclear option. No. Hillary is a communist Chinese agent. She is an agent of the Saudis. And I'm done. These people were openly involved in our election, up one side and down the other. And then they want to tell all of us that want our Second Amendment and our property rights and our veterans taken care of, and we don't want to be under Obamacare, we want to have our taxes cut, that I'm a Russian agent. You can go straight back to Hades where you came from. Oh, man, I'm getting angry. I'm going to cover it all, but I knew when I saw that yesterday that Spicer was going further than he was supposed to in knocking Flynn. That's why you saw Trump come out and say how great Flynn is today. And that is Trump delegating to his politicos, and they stab him in the back every time. And it's been coming out in the news. Priebus is the one of the big leakers. There's an article on Infowars.com by Dr. Corsi that needs to go viral. We've got a lot of exclusive sources of what's exactly going on in the White House and the type of horrible ambassadorships that Priebus is handing out to people that will then be used to burn Trump, saying he's putting bad people in these positions. And again, the president has pardoning power. He doesn't need to pardon himself or Flynn for communicating with the Russians. That's what the president does. Again, Hillary tried to negotiate TPP and did in secret over years. And it was totally secret from Congress of the American people. That violates the Logan Act. That's illegal. That's private corporate meetings. But if you don't think national security advisors talk to Russian ambassadors, what do you think security advisors and ambassadors do? It's called diplomacy. It's what they do. But the liberal constituency is so uneducated.